Very pale.
Who, me?
No, the green screen.
Yes, it is.
It's not so much pale, it's just like solid color as
So,
opposed to blanket, which was like
let me tell you
shades.
something real horrifying. I hadn't moved my previous green screen for 5 years. So when I took it down today to give it to my personal trainer's son, I mean, we're talking a wave of dust. Like a sunbeam came down through one of the basement windows, and it was basically like a Cthulhu of dust. There was I was stuffing it into a plastic trash bag, and the dust was pouring out of it. I was like, this is fucking disgusting.
So what you're saying is you just turned RTX on.
Wow. Let me recover and get back to the part where I start this show. Humans, delighted welcome. We return for episode 42 of New Game Plus, a show where a bunch of amnesiac demigods wander around and do time crime, I guess. I'm working on a better description.
Son of a bitch, I'm in. No.
Working on a better description of the show than that, but I had to come up with it on the spot, so at least give me a little credit.
Good job.
Yeah, let's find out how everybody's been doing. Atomikspoon, as some have called him, Angry Grim. How's it going?
I've got some honey roasted peanuts. They're pretty good. I mean, not a whole lot's happened since Saturday. It kind of just somebody brought something home, so we've been dealing with that. Been sick, and then the body was like, "Oh, hey, you've got all these other things. Let's kick off all the gastro stuff because you need that. That will happen at the same time." So I've essentially just been drugged up and out of my mind for the past 2.5 days. I've been working on converting some more Chaos Space Marine stuff, and that's pretty much it because I've just been sick.
I don't think we're meeting again for him.
Yeah, I know, because it's like, oh, we can't do it this week. I have to do it the one after that. It's like, nope, got stuff. Nope, it's like fucking December. I hate December so much because it just ruins everything. Because I really don't travel, so I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I'm gonna be bored out of my fucking mind. So, oh well. But yeah, I haven't really done anything. Just been sick. Fun times.
Oh boy. Well, Ian 6 sucks. I know that for sure. You know, speaking of what else sucks, let's talk to Henley.
Yo, what up? Apparently I suck. So, how's it doing? Yeah, I don't know. What can I say? The financing incomes finally come in for Kinky, so that's we've literally got money in the bank, and we're gonna start pumping out the spank, I guess.
Oh, it's my understanding that Alder's Blood, which you can find on Steam, just had another beta test on the Twitch page.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I'm trying to just lob that one up for you real easy. T-ball it for you.
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on right now with that game. Like to put in perspective, I'm literally sitting at work right now going through 400,000 words or 40,000 words, whatever. It's still a fucking astronomical number. And doing localization quality assurance, in case you don't know what that is someone testing the text in the game. Not testing how the game works, but testing that the text appears correctly in the spaces that it needs to be in. It's as dreadful as it sounds. I've played the game a lot, and it's basically me just having to be 100% aware of all text at all times, and it's interesting.
Is it invading your dreams? Are you seeing text bubbles?
I wouldn't say that much, but it's like, to put in perspective, I am the only native English speaker in the entire company, and it kind of just falls on my shoulders by default. You know what I mean? So,
time to QA a whole game worth of words and then get down to visual novels. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as it could be because once this English is done and the LQA is done for English, we can look at localizing it. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff like that. What else? We released a game called Strike Force Kitty, and that got featured by Nintendo on the eShop and all that stuff. And it's a little behind Wrecked in terms of sales, but you know, Rect is being split a lot more with the revenue for that, so it's kind of, roughly good. And speaking about Rect, if you want to get that game for free on the 22nd of December, if you log into the Switch eShop in North America and Europe, depend either one, we will be giving it away for free if you own one of our other games. So,
Isn't that whole? I thought that whole promotion is going on now. Well, but it's like
I mean,
one game a day or something like that.
it
Is
is
that how
it is
works?
one game a day. It's not all the games are ours. Wrecking
Right.
Ball Adventure and Wrecked are games. But we work in conjunction with another release partner on the Switch for those two games. So they're basically the publisher of those ones.
Right.
So if
Yeah, I
you
saw
own one of
something
their
on
other
Reddit
games,
about it. Yeah, one of their other games is actually a free game already. So
yeah.
if you download that game, then you can get it's like 10 other games for free, I think, something like that.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. It's a good system.
Yeah, check the Nintendo Switch subreddit. There's a thread about it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so a lot of good stuff's going on there. As I said, Kinky's off to a good start now, and with so the games that we have in Kinky, the first 4 games that we have, they have a production time of 1 to 3 months. To put that in perspective, most games have a production time of like 10 months or 11 months or whatever. These games have 1 to 3 months. And because of that, like we get to cut a lot of corners that we don't really get to cut normally. Like in most games, when you build them, they kind of have to make sense. But with porn games, they don't have to make sense. Like you can basically just be like, yeah, and now he has sex. Like that's you don't really have to put too much work into
I
that.
play porn games for the dialogue.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, most video games have like several mechanics interwoven with each other in order to make a video game.
Yeah.
But porn games, it's pretty much like, what if we beat the shit out of one mechanic? And that's it. Like, so.
Hey,
Yeah.
someone gifted me a sub. Thanks, pretty
There
beer.
you go. And I also got a gift sub.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, lots and lots of stuff is happening right now, and hopefully by the end of the year, because Nintendo stops their certification stuff around December 15th, which by my math isn't that far away. We should have everything ready to go out, and then the rest of the year will be pretty cruisy for us. So, yeah, that's me.
That's good because there's not a lot of year left, really.
No, but if you think about it, businesses and stuff like that have to do a lot of push at this time of the year because starting like on the 21st or the 22nd, most people are off until like literally like the 10th of the next year, sort of thing. Sometimes. So
yeah, I was gonna say when I worked for the government, there were people that took off the week before Thanksgiving and wouldn't come back until the New Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a shockingly long stretch of time. But with the
You
power
really
of the
gotta
government,
like your in-laws. You really, really gotta like your in-laws if you're doing shit like that. So, yeah.
Speaking of people who like their in-laws, let's talk to Drumurboy.
I don't have in-law. Well, that's not true. I have a sister-in-law. She's fine, I guess.
There you go. Listen, I don't think these things through. I just spit them out as they come, and they don't really work sometimes, like the one with Henley.
Yeah. Well, it kind of worked if he started talking about like his porn game company right away. So, it's right there. Anyway, I've just been working, man. I sent in the next sound pack for Nerd or Die with a revision already. So that'll be out sometime this month or early next month because it's a crazy release month, December. Another roleplay song on the way. and another new client, which is cool. So working on stuff with them, and all those deadlines are converging at once. So it's a busy few weeks, but it's going to be a nice payday. So that's nice. Haven't had any time to stream because of it, but
Yeah, I noticed that.
I got like one stream in the last 2.5 months or so. Work, man. What can you do?
You ever enter that weird zone where you're like, just a few more emails left, and you go down and you complete those emails, and then when you look at the inbox total, you got twice as many emails, and you're like,
most of mine,
yeah, because
Such a
everyone's already
Monday.
replied.
99 little bugs in the code. Take it down, pass it around. 121 bugs in the code.
Here's the thing about email. If you send emails out, you will always get more emails back. So if you never send emails, you never have to worry about emails.
I really have to disagree with that. The number of times that I've emailed somebody and not gotten an answer back for a infuriatingly long amount of time. Yeah, Spootnik knows what I'm talking about there.
Oh my God! Welcome to
like,
QA.
This project needs to be completed tomorrow. Where is your reply? And they're like, I thought I would just turn it in at the last minute. I'm like, there are 5 other people in this chain that need that information.
Just today in a project meeting, my CEO is like, my CEO of North America is like, what is the deal with this? And I pulled up on the TV, on the projection on the TV, a chain of just me asking our IT department, hey, what's the update on this project? What's the update on this project for the past 1.5 months? And I was like, that's my problem right there.
At least you can prove that you're not the slack ass in that
No
situation.
response. Oh, I don't delete any emails that are related to like actual work projects. Never.
You know what's the best part about this? That CEO guy probably has the same problem that I have, where you pay the paychecks, right? You pay the paychecks, people respond to your fucking emails. Yeah. So I don't know if there's any communication problems outside of me, like
right. Exactly.
I don't work very much by email though, so it's like the new client is an email client, so like sending updates back and forth and like
you just send like handwritten letters to most of your clients.
No, most of my stuff is contract. So it's like I wrote we did like 4 emails, I signed a contract, and now I just work and just
right.
Smoot, please. He sends Runner by Moose.
Yeah.
True.
Like fancy calligraphy with a fountain pen.
Yeah.
Stamps it with wax.
It's in English, and then it has another version that's in French.
Yep. I just like write on a moose with some maple syrup, and then
go Longhorn.
Got anything else going on, Drumurboy?
Not really.
Speaking of X, let's talk to Spootnik.
Speaking of X,
I know, I really just...
Today's episode is brought to you by the letter X.
Yeah.
You could just say that you don't have like a lead in. You could just be like, fuck it.
I feel like I did say that, just in not so many words.
It's been pretty busy. We have a second dog now, which is interesting. Another dachshund, another brown short-haired dachshund. This one,
I was about to say, it kind of looks like it like a toe fell off your first dog and then
he's much smaller. It's a miniature dachshund, as is our first one. Our original dog, he weighs about 14.5 pounds. This one weighs about 8.5, and he's only a year younger. The oldest one is 6. The new one is 5. The reason he's so small is because he was a breeder dog that was basically kept in a tiny little cage and was basically raised to be small so he could make other very small dachshunds. Because he was in a cage so much, he doesn't really know how to be a dog yet. So the foster family that we adopted him from, and now us, we're trying to let him be a dog. His back is kind of humped, because he was in such a small cage for so much, they basically let him out to fuck a female dog to make another dog and put him back in the cage. He developed pneumonia, and the breeder didn't want to pay the $50 for the freaking medication, so they got rid of him. So now we have him, which is a good thing because we love him to death. He's a sweetheart. Very strange for a dachshund. He does not bark because, again, I don't think he really knows how to be a dog. So that's kind of an upside. He doesn't bark, but he's a little timid sometimes. Other times he's very outgoing and friendly. So there's a very loving, good dog in there that we're excited to sort of help coax out of him. And I think it's going to be a good thing. And both the dogs get along with one another. So it's good that they can entertain each other while we're working during the day. So that's one thing. The other thing, I've started writing a book. I'm writing about 1,000 words a day right now. So I'm about at just over 6,000 words, which
Who the
sounds...
fuck did, like, seriously, I want to cut in here. Which demon did you sell your soul to accomplish 1,000 words a day?
I don't know. I'm only 6 days in, so I'm sure the block will occur. And, you know, it's I'm using a really great writing program called Scrivener, which is super helpful, which is probably one of the reasons I can write so much, because you can storyboard, has like virtual cork boards where you can, like, put characters up there. You can, as you're writing tidbits, like I don't have to write the story in order. Like when I have story ideas, I just write them out, and then I can just move the chapters around and reorder them at a whim, which is pretty cool as well. Neat little program. I enjoyed it. It's a lot better than just writing in like a traditional word processing document. But anyway, I'm writing that, so hopefully, you know, my goal is to get close to, you know, probably between 80 and 100,000 words to finish out the first draft. And then, of course, I've got to go back and reread it and realize that
Do you have a synopsis for us?
I mean, kind of. Basically, it's a
Autobiography. Who is Fiddling Longbottom?
That's what I was going to say.
If it's not titled, it is sort of a sci-fi post-apocalyptic type idea. There are sort of three sort of settings, if you will. You have the poorest of the poor that have been forced to either live in existing caves or dig their own. You have the rich folk that live in basically domed safe zones. And then you also have another side story of sort of explorers on a generational spaceship looking for a new Earth. And the stories will tie together. In the safe zones, there's this kind of beloved but also creepy cult that everyone loves, that thinks that is going to bring humanity back into the golden age, but there's something sinister underneath. You have the poor folks underground struggling to survive, and then, like I said, the folks in space that have just assumed that Earth is completely dead and they are the last hope of humanity. And they'll intertwine eventually. But yeah, I've got probably about 30 pages right now, so it's still kind of in the opening.
Yeah, the way you're describing writing stuff is how I used to write a lot more, like a fuck ton, and I would always do like, here's like, you know, beginning, you know, here's like, this is how I want to start it, this is kind of how I want to end it, and then a major event somewhere in the middle, and then I go back and fill in all the other details.
Yeah, like I fucking hate outlining. I do like the fact that I can make sort of note cards for my characters and do character descriptions, so I can refer back to that, which I'm hoping will help the editing process, because I won't be like, oh, so-and-so has blue eyes, and fucking 3 chapters later, like, they blinked their brown eyes, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, continuity.
You know
Is a, continuity.
So
is a big
it helps
thing,
with
I
the
guess.
continuity, especially on such a large project.
Or you could take the Kingdom Hearts approach, and any like any like weird blinked.
It's like this
blue
because
eyes,
fuck you.
blinked brown eyes. When he had brown eyes, he was Norded.
That's right.
Now you have to figure out when that happened.
Exactly. So I've got that going on, which is good. It's been a while since I've done something on my own that's sort of creative. So it needed to be done. So I started doing it. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Let us know when it's done. I can read it.
Yeah, once I rewrite the first draft 3 times, I'll send it out to some folks to read over and give me the harshest criticism.
And then I'll make a porn game out of it. It'll be good.
I'll make an album out of it, and then the porn game and the book can both be set to the album's music.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
But I figure, I should probably do something with my writing degree. So why not?
Yeah.
What you don't know is that all of my D&D shows, and in fact, all of my shows are literally just me without an idea on how to write a story, getting my players to tell me how the story goes. You're all in my novel now.
Maybe I need to do like a Stars Without Numbers campaign or something.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
I had the guy that I started playing Pathfinder with had a world. There's his own homebrew world that he had probably, he's been playing. His world started back in, I don't know, second edition maybe D&D, or maybe even as far back as AD&D. And every time every group of players does something, that like the continuity exists. So it's just been like 15, 20 years of like just the same world that's being changed over time. And it just he's like the best part is like we'll take a break and then we'll start up a new campaign or whatever, but it all takes place in this world, just different locations. So he's like, the best part is the players do everything. I don't have to do shit.
I remember AP mentioning that he has an NPC through all his games, like
I was gonna make the Drumurboy going Tyrannix the monochrome like that. Every time I say it, Drumurboy's like Tyrannix.
Kind of like Sid in Final Fantasy or something.
No, didn't they make like a celiac monochrome?
Yeah,
joke? Yeah. I'm gonna make him the mascot for Cartnuts, and then all your worlds are ruined.
So speaking of Sid in Final Fantasy, how are you doing, Arthur?
Oh, listen, they put me on the blood pressure medication. Even though my blood pressure is the same as it has been for 10 years, they're like, now's the time. And I'm like, why is today the time? And like, it's just the time. Also, give me your right arm. We're going to give you a fuck ton of shots. So they were like, you got your Tdap? I was like, I don't know where Tdap is. And they're like, bam, you got it now. Got your flu. And I was like, well, I was thinking of getting it at the end of the week. Bam, got it now.
I've reached a point with injections to where I've had so many injections in the crooks of my arm and stuff. When they have to put IVs in me, I have scar tissue there now, so they have to start giving them to me in like the middle of my arm. But what sucks about it is I have a vein that you can see from low orbit, so it's like they don't want to use it anymore because it's just this massive thing of scar tissue over it.
Thanks.
Fuck. So I have to start getting IVs in like top of my head, like places that suck to get IVs in. It's like,
top of the hand.
Describe this.
Oh no, it's honestly, worse. And then you can't open or close your hand fully.
No, it's not that bad. No, it's not that bad.
It was honestly, that bad for me.
Well, yeah, but I get IVs on the regular. But the thing is, actually, I think now that I've started getting them, I get them like somewhere in like right through here. It's like when I'm laying in the bed, it's like I can move my arm. I can like lay on, I can like, so it hurts more initially, but I get more range of movement. So it's not as irritating after, 30 minutes to an hour or whatever. So whatever, it is what it is. But
I was hoping you were going with that. Do you have your Tdap thing? It was like, do you have your Tdap? I don't know what that is. Tdap!
Honestly, Atomic, the more you talk about it, dude, all this sickness stuff, the more you're starting to sound like a Batman villain, like...
yeah.
Either that or Mr. Burns.
Well, I'm just like... People in my Discord server make a joke like, yeah, we need the Imperium of Man to fucking get a hustle on so we can inter your ass into a dreadnought. I'm like, you're not wrong.
I guess
Dreadnought's got chronic issues. Damn it, I can't escape.
Yeah, right.
I guess what I've been doing a lot of is I reread I guess I read for the first time the Jumpstart rules for Cyberpunk 2077, the Cyberpunk Red rules. Man, they've
Welcome to the
removed
club.
so much from it. Well, like I briefly browsed them before. They definitely changed the way net running works and have brought net running
I like the way net running works
as
I
a
hate
function
the way
of the
that
game.
Yeah, I hate the way that they've made the guns. I think it's just like the guns
We'll see.
and like most of the powers that the characters have, I think will come when the full book comes.
Yeah, they definitely have. I mean, in every chapter, they're like, there are more options. We basically lobotomized the game.
Yeah.
So, I've just been planning out for my 2077 campaign, which will come around whenever I both have a show spot and the game is released. But I was kind of shocked to learn that Night City was hit by a nuclear blast, and I'm hoping that 2077 still takes place in a post-nuclear Night City. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to learn whatever the new goddamn city is.
I was going to say, aren't there more than one of like
there's
those
just
mega
one
cities?
Night City. Well, I mean, there are other mega cities.
I was saying the other mega cities are copy paste.
But I've been playing 2020 for several decades, so Night City is that's where I run.
If I remember correctly,
for real.
If I remember correctly, post 2020, they started bringing in those nanobots that automatically make apartments and high rises and shit like that. And then in 2077, they had like you could like blow up a building, and then machines would be like, "Oh, cool, time to make another building," and they'll just like make a building in that spot. So it would just be like this weird mega complex of like abandoned buildings and shit like that.
I guess we'll find out.
Machines just keep rebuilding shit, and that's kind of why they nuked it, because it was just slowly like gray goo taking over the world or some shit. And like, man, the fucking main storyline for Cyberpunk is radical as fuck. It's just like, and also because I think Mike Pondsmith was like, I want to bring back actual like a storyline, because it kind of got away from them quite quickly with
that dude's
Cyberpunk.
anime.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't know if you've read the main storyline, like the beat by beat stuff that they do, but the Cyberpunk storyline is fucking weird. Like, it goes from, hey, yeah, you're just some back alley gangbanger, to like, now you're a part of the crew that's like robbing the fucking Atlantis equivalent of the US government. It's like,
I mean, there's a moon base. Like, there's one of the books that has like a fucking moon base in it or something, isn't there? Yeah.
And you can hack there. You can hack the moon base.
You can hack not just the planet, but the moon.
Yeah,
I would love. Somebody should do a campaign in that where they're now like moon.
No, you really don't want to, because it'd be super boring. But here's the thing: you can hack a satellite, drive that satellite into space, and then hack other things when you get into space. Like, it's real fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. And space travel in the book is like kilometers per hour. Like, it's metric and then imperial mixed together. It's very strange.
Oh, like Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
How did
the sign says imperial, but the cause says in metric.
Like, we measure stuff. It's weird. We measure construction stuff by like centimeters a lot of the time. It depends on what the application is. A lot of like building construction is feet and inches. A lot of like crafty stuff, and
a lot of machine shop work in Canada is all done in imperial as well, because they're all running a lot of old post World War II American gear.
Yeah, we cook
and
stuff.
they're like thousands of an inch better for that kind of thing.
All of our cooking equipment has Celsius and Fahrenheit. It's like,
that's the best way to do it, because then people can make their own stupid decisions.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know, like the people that complain about having to switch between, it's like, it's real. It's not fucking hard.
One thing I did. It wasn't like within the past weeks of between we've played, but I remembered a conversation. It was just kind of a passing conversation in a stream, but it got like, I have been having insomnia on and off for like the last few weeks, like a few days, and this thought kept on popping in my head. What if we did a Burning Wheel game, but you replaced life paths and Burning Wheel with the life stories from recipes? You know how you read a recipe and they're
My
like,
God.
my children love this recipe. Let me tell you the first time I made it.
I saw a great thing on Reddit on probably one of the
The
recipes.
app that
Reddit or
removes
something.
the life stories and only
Well, yeah,
shows
there
you
is
the
that,
recipe.
but the sort of like OG joke about the life story things and recipes was there was some blog that was sponsored by the New York Times or something, but it's like a recipe for like chocolate chip cookie bars or something. And the first line was, in the weeks after September 11th. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a goddamn cookie recipe. Why are we talking about 9/11?
I was given a surplus of cookie dough and chocolate, and I was like, man, what am I going to do with this?
If you ever put like a chef character in your games, Henley, they have to have the most deep, tragic backstory just to be like a life story joke from a recipe website.
Yeah, my therapist recommended I started a blog, and I'm like,
he makes muffins, and then he has like flashbacks like that, like that gift of the dog.
Yep.
I will say though, the devil's advocate thing to that is because of the way Google works and SEO and all that shit. That's why people do that, because they want you to spend time on the page scrolling through it. And so a lot of times when people bitch about that, it's like, okay, go ahead and just buy a fucking recipe book then instead of getting that shit for free. Like that's what you have to deal with. But like Arthur just said, there's plenty of Chrome and Firefox extensions where basically when you click on one of those recipes, a little box pops up and it's just the recipe overlaid over all the fucking soccer mom bullshit. So,
or it's people who don't understand how Control F works.
The next time I play like an RPG where your characters can legit die, I'm just gonna go to a recipe and use that as a backstory.
It's the equivalent. Yeah, sure. I was gonna make a dumb joke, but that's
go ahead. Go ahead. Let's field it.
I was gonna say it's the equivalent of when you go to a YouTube tutorial and it has that stupid introduction made in like MS Video, and then it has like hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for being here. It's like 45 seconds.
This is a sponsored video. I just want you to check out NordVPN. NordVPN.
Smash that like button. Ring that bell.
Check my prostate. All right, let's get in there.
I can't
Previously on this show. No, go ahead, Atomic.
I was saying there was some YouTuber, this is a couple years ago, where he ended his videos like, oh yeah, by the way, go fuck yourself. It's like he didn't ask for likes or whatever. He just told people to go fuck themselves. So it's like I like something different. I just respect that.
Previously on this show, you all got together. You escaped the notice of the legendary monster, perhaps, or it escaped your notice, some would say. In the process, you uncovered a pair of elves who had been cursed to immortal unlife as undead. Negotiating with them for information in exchange for blood, you managed to uncover more secrets of the world in a way that I'm sure infuriated all of you because you weren't stabbing anything to death. Upon attempting to exit the facility, you had found that all of the door and wall work had been changed to depict images of the party eating other members of the party. Daka closed the portal to the astral plane. In the process, at the last minute, a creature appeared before him and offered to negotiate. Daka told him to get fucked and leave or be stuck here forever. The creature disappeared as Daka locked and sealed the door behind him. Traveling further into the facility, you all encountered the Dwarven trade platform, guarded by a clay Dwarven icon, a golem, which promptly beat Kelly nearly to death and is now continuing on its journey to continue to beat everyone else to death. If I'm remembering correctly, we're at the top of the round with Agrim.
We are indeed, and if I remember correctly, it was trying to beat the shit out of Finley Knights.
That's correct. It has refused to target you for any reason.
I might have something to do with me being a dwarf. I don't know.
Can Can it end its turn on top of me?
Yes.
I don't know.
You're unconscious.
It can?
Yeah, because you're
Okay.
unconscious.
Also a clay boy, so it's like.
Well, you can squeeze, but if you're unconscious, yeah, you can be, because it's like, oh, somebody can stand over you, kind of thing. All right.
And quick question: Did my hit points got reduced to a total of 25?
That is correct.
What was that? What did that?
Were you the one that offered blood to the vampire?
No, that was.
Oh no, that's
No,
this
that
thing.
was
Special ability. Whenever it hits you, it reduces your maximum hit points.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and my current hit points max is 60, but after a long rest, it'll come back.
Yeah, I recall that.
That does not work for you, however, Finley.
I believe I
After
had
a long
previously.
rest, your hit points do not come back.
I had previously attempted to kneecap this thing, and so I'm going to continue trying to kneecap it.
Dwarf attacking other dwarfs? Very well.
Well, attacking the golem thing. So.
The dwarf of dwarfs. Yes.
It's 27, do you?
Your attack will hit. Your weapon is magical. Therefore, there are no other barriers to damage. You hit.
And hit it again. Better critical.
Your critical slam comes up with an uppercut. The thing's head flies off as its body crumbles into dust, and some of the dust gets inside Kelly's snout.
I love that I got.
I wake up
damage.
because it's pure cocaine.
That is not a thing.
So it was like, you're telling me it was like 30 HP away from death? Oh man, that sucks.
I've hit it like 5 times now, I think. Because I have a magic. Because I think when everybody else hit it, they was doing reduced damage or something.
Yes.
And I think it decked you, Kelly, like first rounds or something, like, if I remember right.
I also used like a bunch of smites on it as well.
Yeah, it's been like what, 2 weeks.
So let's talk about.
So we had
Let's talk about Kelly. Currently unconscious. Are you stable?
I don't really. I made
somebody get him up.
I think Daka has a stability spell, right? You have,
I have a
spare the
stability
night.
cantrip.
Yeah,
Stabilize.
Can we assume that you just cast that then?
Yep.
All right.
Same like pull a needle out of my body and chuck it into them.
Flick it between 2 fingers too.
Oh, does Gygax disappear when I go unconscious?
No. Not a concentration spell.
Yeah.
Do you need secure wounds? I can cast it at like a higher level.
Oh,
You have a spell,
no, you don't need to cast it at a higher level, I don't think. As long as you get me up to where I can do a long rest, I think we'll be good. So
yeah. Or, I mean, if you're stabilized, you'll become conscious after a certain amount of time too, aren't you?
I don't know how much.
1d4 hours.
24 hours.
Well,
Yeah.
if
I'm about to do a long rest, then it doesn't matter.
I'll just do a level 1 cure.
Yeah,
wound.
that's what I'm saying. Just do it because if we're doing a long rest, we'll get the spells back anyway. So.
Okay. Why? There we go.
You access the great power of the forest, and in doing so, fill Kelly with healing energy. Kelly, when you wake up, you got some sort of it's all in your mouth, like in between your teeth, all along your tongue. You got that golem dust.
When Kelly stands up, there's just an outline where Kelly was.
I'll turn to Kelly and be like, "You look like a mess," and like prestidigitate.
Just break out the little brush and just.
Oh, it's
shimmer.
It's very Avengers, right? Like the dust just off of Kelly.
Like, I also like the idea that I wake up, and I do the Puff the Magic Dragon like snout low, like.
Off the Magic Dragon. My God, that's a name I've not heard.
It's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Did
you know he lived by the sea?
Oh!
Every time I hear Puff the Magic Dragon, I think of what they call the plane in Vietnam, not the. Anyway.
So Riverin is just sitting back, looking at all of you. I mean, most of you are covered in some form of acid from setting off the ceiling-based acid traps.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What do I need
take
to
a rest?
Yeah, what do I need to do to
Make an Arcana check. to discover what magical energies lay upon you.
Gotcha. I'll do that. As soon as I can.
You do
find-
that.
I'll give him some help and proficient.
13. You are uncertain. This magic that lays upon you is permanent, as far as you can tell.
Oh, right, that magic. Okay. Is there any sort of like historical checks I can make, or anything like that?
Arcana. I would let you make a fairly difficult history check.
I can do Arcana or History. They're both the same for me. So.
Okay.
All right, I'll just try History. It's more on the angle of my character. No.
Yeah, I
Do it
mean,
on Arcana.
the history of this place is a, secretive dwarven enclave that predates humans, so thousands of years old.
Is there anything around that I might be able to
If you give me an hour, I could try something.
well, I was say, is there any like sort of like writings or
We were wanting to do a long
clues
rest
that I
anyway.
could investigate?
There are writings in the trade depot, which is directly west of you. It's the doors that you just opened. It's all in
Also,
Dwarven,
I do have detect poison and disease potentially. I don't have it prepared, obviously, but maybe.
If you guys go in there, if you want to read around for a bit, if it takes a short rest, that'll give me back my spell slots and I can try a thing.
You guys want to go in, shut the door, spend an hour looking around?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do
Is
that.
that those doors to the west?
Yes. Yes. So Riverrun's going to go inside and sit down in a corner with Gygax. Agram, there's some information here. If you'll recall, there is a broken mechanism for opening the doors that lead to the surface. Those doors have wagon ruts that will allow wagons to slow
like a
their
depot.
transversal down the incline, come around a pillar, and U-turn to head back up. Now that you've come into the room and investigated further, it looks like there's a mechanism in the floor that will hook the back of the front wheels and help pull them back up the incline. But it will only work when those doors are open, and they are currently locked shut. All the other information in this room, in general, the walls glorify this place, Bar Uthan Umthal, the Fortress of Granite. It doesn't, nothing here like denigrates elves. There's nothing like elves suck written on the walls, but you can tell that when it mentions elves, it usually speaks better of dwarves. Like, we welcome our friends from the Northeast who are in such dire need of our services and goods. Stuff like that. Just very diplomatic ways to say, suck it, elves. We're better than you. There are several pillars in here with faces upon them that appear to be previous important dwarven figures.
They remind me of the chairs.
Yes.
Okay. Same faces or just
Different faces this time.
Okay. Because I'm still looking for that book, the ledger or whatever that had names of ancient whatever.
Yeah. Over your long rest, Agram, Daka, you previously when you
Are we doing a
here,
long or a short?
Sorry, a short rest. Over your short rest, for Daka.
Because we can do a long rest if you want.
Well, that was what we were going to do before we had to fight the golem.
Doesn't matter to me. Like I get the same thing back on short or long rests. But
Yeah.
I would get on long rest. I would get all my spells back, which should be really useful. I'm drained out at the
we
moment.
do have a couple
so-
levels to go yet, so that might be best.
Yeah, I mean, long rest would be good. At least I can get my spell slots back. It doesn't help my hit point situation, but
After an hour, I would have, like after my slots are back, I would have gone over to Finley and used remove curse. See if that did anything.
How long? So long rest is 8 hours. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. I vote that we do that. Is that cool? with
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we would close the door, Arthur. Maybe if there's a way to like bar
Bar
it
it,
from the
yeah.
inside or something like that.
I'm just saying after an hour, my stuff is back, so I'm going to use my thing on
Sure.
Finley.
Yeah.
While you guys continue to rest. See if that does anything. Is it a curse, Arthur? Has Finley been cursed?
It's not a curse, but I'm checking to see whether it still works because the wording is open.
Do you want the spell info?
No, I got it. So I'd like you to make an Arcana check when you touch him with remove curse.
21.
Your remove curse is not powerful enough to overcome this curse that has been placed upon him. You recognize that.
Would I know what I would need? Like
Yes.
spell, whatever?
So you recognize that this clay golem did its job correctly, that creatures of this construction were meant to leave intruders weakened and unable to fight back, so that even if they fled when they were hunted down, it would be obvious that they bear the marks of their misbehavior. You know that something like a greater restoration spell, which is a 5th level spell, would be necessary in order to remove this. A very powerful spellcaster would be required to remove it. Someone powerful enough to summon and control a clay golem, for instance.
Is greater restoration not the same thing we use to get our friends out of stone?
Yes, indeed it is.
All right.
If you
Cool.
recall, that took 3 years of work.
That took a damn long time.
Yeah. And even then, you could only get a scroll. So, you now know the nature of your, I wouldn't say a curse, but weakening in the long bottom.
He's back to where he was, I guess. Yeah.
Can I
I mean,
get
I may know the nature of it, but I mean, do I really know how to get rid of it?
Greater restoration.
can I
Do
what?
continue to long rest after my short rest?
No, so the nature of long rest and short rest are completely different, right? Like laying down to take a 1 hour nap is very different from,
All right.
going to sleep at night.
So what's can I get a short rest after my short rest or after?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just like when I come back, I still have my.
You're doing that warlock snooze. Yeah, trust me, I know it well.
Yeah.
I also have a healing warlock.
In the meantime, I'll just like all the books I stole from the weird firecaster.
Hobgoblin. Yeah,
Yeah, I might look over those, see what I can glean.
very well.
So sorry, I didn't quite catch you. You said something restoration helps.
Greater
me?
restoration.
Greater
It's a
restoration.
5th level cleric type spell.
Fuck's sake.
You'll be able to cast it eventually as a druid.
Yeah, in like 3 months when we get to that level.
That's so positive of you to think it's only going to take 3 months.
I was gonna say it's probably gonna take longer than that, honestly, because with 5th level magic will be what, level 8 or 9,
Is River in a
not
cleric?
higher.
Like
No.
level 11 for me.
Yeah, I was
as
gonna
a
say,
paladin.
yeah, it's 5th level magic's pretty far up there.
When you talk to Riverine, it's clear that she can't cast magic. She's a ritualist. She's been taught how to perform powerful rituals. But
I mean, one of the things we could potentially
Powerful
do.
restoration rituals?
when you say that to her, Riverine goes, I could do something along those lines for a cost.
Well, what's the cost? We're all in this together.
Well, she's like sitting on the ground with some chalk, drawing weird arcane sigils of like a circle that has an origin, and then like a line coming off of it, and that line has a line coming off of it, and that line has a line coming off of it. It's like a mandala, but it's also very Cthulhu-ish as well. Like when you gaze into it, you start seeing infinity. And she, like, this is her just beginning it. You don't even have any idea what it's going to look like when it reaches the end. She says, I'm sorry, I haven't done this before, Finley. I'm not sure what costs will be appropriate, but you'll need to sacrifice something of value. Great value.
Well, what do you suggest?
I can commune with my father.
Mm-hmm.
If we're doing a long rest, I'm gonna use some hit die here.
No, it's a long rest. You get all your health back. So
Oh,
Yes.
works.
So when she says that, she looks at you like, is that what you want me to do? Do you want me to?
I say we do it.
So she just closes her eyes and starts what you would otherwise believe to be an elven trance. Now that you're an elf, you know what trancing looks like. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's going to take her a few hours, perhaps, to get an answer.
I'll bring her water and stuff.
Okay. Well, this is still during your long rest, so you'll also sleep at some point during this as well. Like,
Yes.
this is not going to happen quickly.
Well, he only needs what, 4 hours?
He's an elf, right? So I think he
Mhm.
trances. You know, and not like
yeah.
that, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Conan the Barbarian with light sticks.
What?
What? Come on.
I have
It's
no
a gift as old
idea.
as time.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I was thinking like, what's that song from The Matrix? Club to Death?
Oh, yeah.
Or Blood Rave from fucking Blade.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I Googled the exact thing I fucking told you, and I will show you what came up.
All right. Are we throwing it on Discord?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah. Oh, way there.
I fucking hate Giphy. All I want to do is link to the exact image.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they changed it to make it more of a pain in the ass now because I got tired of people hot linking stuff.
Oh, here you go. It's in Zoom. I'll put it in chat too because it's super safe. It's fine.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that
How have
is
you
what I
never
meant, but it's embarrassing.
Where's that website where you can put GIFs to music?
Oh, GIF sound?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me all about it, man.
Daka Agram, for some time since you've entered this place, you felt a draw towards the room that had the doorway to the astral plane. You felt like there was something that you could find. If you'll recall, Agram, you felt like you could find the hammer that you're looking for there. Daka, you felt like you could find the box that you're looking for there. Those feelings fade by the end of the short rest, by the end of the first hour. As they do, there's a weird shimmer along the floor, walls, and ceiling of this place. Something in this room changes just a little bit. The placement of certain pebbles, dust.
I'll look over to Agron to see if there's like a significant PC look.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm assuming you're still resting, so like there's not much we could actually do.
You
I
both
was
feel
pretty-
it.
Okay, we both feel it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
probably doing a double take to see if someone else noticed it because it's like, you know, sometimes like eye floaties or something. It's like, did I see what I just said? Or like, it's just because I'm tired, or because I've been a giant, goblins have been beating the shit out of me all day. It's like I don't know which one of the levels that falls under.
Mm-hmm.
But if I see someone else also looking around to see if someone else noticed it, like, I mean, you have a particular look on your face when you're like, did that just happen? Then, I mean, we can go investigate or whatever. But
Well, I think I know what it is. Like if the feelings is faded and it was that room and I closed the portal, then A to B,
yeah. Well, you were the only one in there when you shut the portal, right? Remember it? Everybody else went down the hallway.
Yeah. I told you guys what I was gonna do though.
Oh yeah, we knew what you were gonna do because we were like, oh well, we trust you, so we're just gonna fuck off and let you do your thing. So do we want to go back up there and go look at something, or what do you want to do?
I'm just trying to look at my spells to see if there's anything that would like, because we could just go in there and make a skill check, and that's basically the extent of what we would be able to do.
Yeah.
We could do that, but I don't have any like sense magic.
They no detect magic.
No.
You gotta get a wand to detect magic. Probably a good investment.
I
know,
have
Dave,
detect magic.
You can sense detect evil and good, or like magic in general.
I can do magic, detect evil and good, detect poison and disease.
Nice.
Yeah, I got all that shit.
Hmm.
Well, maybe when Kelly's done, we can
Yeah, when
go
everybody's
back to
up.
that room.
Yeah.
And you want to do detect magic?
Yeah, in the room that we were in, just to see if there's anything residual.
Yeah, because Doc and Akron were getting a weird, like, would you say, like a pull, like a weird feeling?
You no longer
Alright.
feel it.
Hmm.
I guess I'll prepare that somehow. Hmm.
Otherwise, there's a couple levels of kobolds that need slaughtering. So
Goblins.
I mean, I honestly think that we could just go
Goblins.
down there and just slay goblins and get further into the where we need to go. So
yeah, but like the problem is, the thing that we were sent here to get might not be here anymore, or our access to it might not be here anymore.
Yeah, but I mean,
really, because I remember the vampire people telling us that it's further down. We
I
had a
don't remember.
discussion with them. We had a discussion with them last time we played, and they told us that it's deeper into this place. That what they were looking for, what we were looking for.
Well, if we don't find it in the lower levels, when we come back up, then we'll check
Oh.
that room.
Sure, sounds good to me.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm all for putting on the Doom soundtrack and just going to town.
Let's punch that computer.
Oh, Doom.
Drag that man by his lapel over
Ponytail.
to the keypad to like unlock the door.
You were going through the notes, the notes and diaries left behind by this
I
hobgoblin.
know some of them are incomplete ritual scrolls, but I don't know what the other ones are.
Correct. Do you read Goblin?
No.
Then everything here is nonsense.
All right. Like
There is one treatise written in Orc. Okay.
Don't know that either.
Yeah, I mean, you shuffle through some papers, you learn some arcane sigils, half-finished spells.
If there are sigils, can I make an Arcana check to see what they were?
Absolutely.
21.
21. You notice that there are some hastily scrawled, almost as if sarcastic, mocking, abjuration sigils. But overwhelmingly, this book contains evocation style sigils, magic that directly damages. There are places where you find necromancy sigils, and the first few are not so clean. And then after the first 2 or 3, you find a few, and there is blood spilled across the page where those are. And after that point, the necromancy sigils become better than any of the other ones. Very fancy. A lot of extra time. It's like they use a second pen to pen it in.
So the first ones are like messy in a mocking sense or messy in an unskilled sense?
Unfamiliarity.
Okay. That makes sense. Where did I put that? I put that in shared bullshit, I think. Group inventory. Were they books that were doing that?
Yes, books, scrolls, information, just scattered across a little bit of area.
Books with evocation magic in them. Magic and necromancy.
And abjuration.
How do you spell abjuration?
A
there we go.
B J U R E.
I was missing the J. That's what it was.
Abjure.
Cool.
After 4 hours, Finley Longbottom, you come out of your trancing. So for the next 4 hours, you can do minor activities. Nothing that would, like you can't get into combat or perform any very difficult acts. But at the end of that, you'll have completed a long rest time.
You can read books and shit.
River Inn says, I have spoken with the Unnamed Mask. If you wish to overcome your weakness now, it requires that you sacrifice eternally the soul of this Gygax. He gestures to the ant. Now, Kelly is sleeping at this moment. This one shall be lost forever in service.
So he just dies?
Like me, his soul will be claimed. He will not suffer death as you understand it, but he will no longer be with us.
But he'll still be walking around with us.
No.
As you are?
No. The Unnamed Mask will use him for other projects.
This conversation you guys are having.
I don't think I can do that. It seems we'll have to find another way.
I mean, Spoody, if you want to, it's completely on you. I wouldn't have any.
Yeah, but Gygax is helpful.
And you're a druid, and he's a giant ant.
Yeah, I don't know that I can sacrifice the soul or life as it knows it of an animal for my own personal.
So what? Yeah, like she understands, and she's patting you on the shoulder, and she says, "That pain, that loss that you will experience by doing this, that is the price the Unnamed Mask requires of you. That is the only way through this."
I think there's other ways.
I don't want to direct you falsely, Finley. There are other magics, but if you wish the aid of the Unnamed Mask, this is indeed the only way it will accomplish.
I'll find the other magics. It's okay.
All right, she nods and just like lays down and goes back to sleep.
I mean, maybe a crystal might save you.
Yeah, I can't I can't sacrifice an animal like that just to help me. That's if it was sacrifice Gygax to maybe help the entire group, that might be a different story, or not even just the group, but like a large population of people, I might be able to justify that. But just for me on my own, no.
We know Greater
Yeah.
Restoration will do the trick. We just need to. We've
Find
done,
someone that knows how to do that.
We've done that before for scrolls, and the only reason it took 3 years is because we didn't have money.
True. Yeah, there's other ways around it. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, we could also try using the crystal and changing you as a person to see if that'll fix it.
Yeah. We know where a crystal is too.
Oh, you mean in the guild hall or whatever?
No, the what's her name's back, the other tiefling.
Oh yeah. Go fuck up that shit again. Yeah.
You mean Valdella?
Yeah,
Adela,
her.
yeah. Cool. That might be an option.
Not worried.
Yeah. Well, now you just have around the same max HP as Old Docket. At
Yeah.
least you're not a melee character right now.
No.
It's not nearly.
Well,
as
you can
bad.
always bear form, which
That's
will give
true.
you
Yeah.
much more HP than any of us.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
So, all right.
If long rest is over, let's go kill some shit.
After 4 more hours, you awaken. When you push the doors here open, all of the other doors towards the staircase are still open. Daka, your eyes reach far enough to the staircase that you can see that there has been placed carefully a web of rope lines with bells hanging off of them. They're straight across, horizontal, vertical, diagonal. If you attempt to remove them, they'll probably make noise. If you attempt to, bypass them, they'll probably make noise. It's not so much to keep someone from transiting up and down, it's to keep anyone from passing without notification. And these were definitely not here before.
Yeah.
The other thing you notice is that all of the depictions of the party eating each other are all gone. The hallways appear normal-ish. I mean, they're still filled with depictions of
regular
dwarves.
humans in each other.
No. It's just depictions of dwarves eating cheese and drinking wine.
How hairy are their feet?
I'm gonna say this once, and hopefully I don't need to mention it again. The dwarves do not have depictions of their feet. No feet close-ups. These walls are not pornographic or fetishist. They built these halls to last.
There's no chaos dwarves here. It's fine.
Is that even a thing?
It is in Warhammer Fantasy, or it used to be.
Of course.
So, I guess do you want to head back to the stairwell? Do you want to go down here first, fellas, or do you want to go?
Well, we're
down
gonna have to
the
deal with
stairs?
this. We're gonna have to deal. I think we should go across the remaining one of the south, just to clear that out, just so we know we don't have something behind us.
Okay.
Down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then well, we've got to deal with this. All these spells, right? There's these alarms, more or less, what they're.
That would be a reasonable description.
Yeah, we would be aware of all the spells in that area, right, Arthur? So we could just circumnavigate that.
Well, it's not a spell. It's literally just a rope.
Yeah,
with
it's ropes with bells hanging off them.
It's like doing like a camp. So you put like cans or something out there so you can hear something getting into your perimeter.
The acid traps, I think he means.
Oh
yeah.
You know that you've set off all the acid traps. Don't worry about that.
Well, yeah, Gygax set off like fucking half of them. I set off the other half.
Yeah, they do not appear to recharge themselves, so you're clear.
If I get like the doors are open here.
Yes.
So
yeah, all the doors that we opened were still open. None of them were closed.
Sorry, you're opening the southern door. Very well. Allow me to reveal the area.
Because I got 120-foot vision, so
Yes, you
I
do.
can relay whatever we have.
This motherfucker.
The
What was
stone.
above the door in this area? What was it called?
Allow me to look that up.
There's
The
like,
bottom wing is called the Elder's Seclusion. There's no additional text beyond naming it.
Probably apartments then for.
You notice that there are 5 doors and what appears to be halfway down a sort of private well. You've not seen any other sources of water throughout the facility except for in the kitchen area or in the workshop places. This is, instead of like a little faucet pump where you could pull water up, this is a well from which you could pull things up with a bucket rather quickly.
Is it like imbued with restoration magic?
You have no idea from this distance and without casting magic.
what's that smell? I smell greater restoration fountain.
All right.
The hallway here is carved to be about 20 feet tall, which is kind of cotangent with the rest of the facility on this level. The archway is fine. We got some very serious crown molding work here. The floors have been inlaid with a fine gold threading that indicates each 5-foot block is like a number of 1-foot square blocks with a dwarven rune on them that have all been fitted together with this gold threading. Immediately to your right after entering, there is some sort of path that does not fit with the beauty of this place. It is a stone set cobblestone path, almost like one that you would find in a medieval town. However, it's built into the earth, which is super unusual.
Is like the hole that leads through there, is it like square or is it just kind of like haphazard?
It is perfectly rectangular. There's no archway, there's no crown molding at that particular area. It is simply
But it is square.
Functional exit entry location.
Okay.
Go, I guess.
Yeah. Step
Yeah.
forward.
As
bravely.
you step forward, Kelly, you
Uh-huh.
are immediately taken by the fact that you cannot hear your own footsteps. The brief hum of flame that comes off your sword has been greatly dampened. Something in this hallway reduces sound.
Interesting.
Second,
Let's see.
you step
thing
up
gets-
to this portal way, and now you see the full length of its characteristic. It leads to another room. There are moth-torn drapes that have been hung everywhere here. These are clearly not what originally existed. It's whatever the goblins have thrown up here. But the tiling that you see underneath it looks cleaner than anything else you've seen in the facility. There is no dust on the floor at all.
Okay. I think I make like hand signals to go down that path. You know?
Okay?
Yeah.
Towards the gelatinous cube.
Well, less gelatinous cube and more like people living in an area.
It's
I think.
dustless. It's dustless, dude. We've had this conversation.
If there wouldn't be drapes hanging up if it was gelatinous cube, my friend. Maybe, I don't know. could be a very dainty gelatinous cube. So I'll start slowly heading down here, Arthur.
Very well.
I'll move down.
The rest of you, as you enter the main hallway, are also set by this noise dampening effect. However, Kelly, when you exit onto the cobblestone path, it is no longer in effect.
Right, I figured as much. Okay. So I'll make my way down here and just sort of peek around this corner a little bit.
Very
see what I
well.
can see.
You do the Metal Gear Solid combat peek. You know, you wait for the drape to flutter and you L tap until you Get a view around the corner in third person mode.
I start accidentally knocking on the wall behind me over and over again.
Too real. Huh? What was that?
Ah, shit. Didn't mean to do that.
There are a number of stone beds that are formed into the floor here. Every 5-foot square that is along the wall has such a bed. The floor tiling is perfectly clean, as is the wall and ceiling tiling. There is no dirt, debris, refuse in any part of this location. There, in this corner, are like ceiling hangers, like you would. I mean, I'm going to describe it for what it is because we know what it is as human beings. Your characters won't recognize this, however. It is a hospital surgery area that has like the runners for pulling a,
privacy curtain.
Yes. This area has a different color of tiling and has drains along the floor. The floor itself, you can see very slightly is set to like a 5% grade everywhere, so that if anything touched the floor, it would roll towards a nearby drain. There's also a very large bathing area here, from which the it's like a Japanese style tub up in here. We're talking, it's like a swimming pool essentially. Everything is made out of boarded wood. It smells great. I mean, we're talking, you got that mineral water, you got a little bit of honey going on. 5 foot deep, 15-foot square. The water, even now when you look at it, it seems like it's just like a little bit of jet action going on from somewhere.
I immediately get naked and get in there. No,
Well, it did say it was a reclusium, so I mean, elders reclusium. So it's like, okay, old people like to be comfortable.
Old people like the heat, they like no sound, and they like spa baths. So,
Like
There you
spa baths in a surgery theater.
Or, I mean, like a hospice care.
Yeah, maybe.
all right, but there's no life in here.
No.
No. Okay.
I mean,
Any sundries or anything like that in here at all? Like
no, there
loose
doesn't appear to
things,
be
like-
any equipment left around besides the beds, which are part of the floor. They were carved from the floor.
And there's no like operating, like I don't know what I call them, like tables that you put stuff on with that you
Yeah,
can move.
there's nothing
easily.
like that has remained in this room.
Okay. All right. I might come back here for a long rest, but other than that, I'm pretty satisfied there's nothing here.
Very well.
So I'm gonna head back to the party.
Riverine whispers to you, "What's there? No one else is moving."
It was as far as I can tell, some sort of medical area.
Kelly is walking back. I'll walk down to like the nearest door, the corner,
Mhm.
peek around.
So this door is perhaps 3 feet wide. It opens towards you. It does have a lock set into it, and it is made of finely carved marble. However, the hinges are on your side.
So it's like a cell? Huh. If the hinges are on the outside of the room, does it have a lock or anything on the door?
It does. The lock is set into the handle.
Locked?
Can we remove the hinges?
Are you tempting the door?
Yeah.
Yes, it is locked. You jiggle it. You could certainly attempt to remove the hinges. Yeah, I mean, Agram, you're a blacksmith, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could dismantle this in like maybe a minute. We're talking Pirates of the Caribbean style.
Oh, I mean, it's it's probably got like a pin or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If I jiggle it and it's not, I'm gonna just go to the next door and jiggle that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we can always come back to it.
You continue to jiggle it, try to open it. Doesn't look like
Is
anything's
this the
happening.
well down here?
Yes, this is the well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I'd like to ask, where is everybody when Doc is trying the next door?
I've been following probably about 10, 15 feet behind him. Kind of occasionally glancing back over my shoulder.
Let me ask about Finley and Gygax. Looks like Gygax snapped forward. Finley, is that where you're at?
Yes, right behind Gygax.
Okay.
So like right here.
So that door that the first door you were messing with opens and a creature steps out. And he's just
Hello, someone called.
sticks his head out, says something in Goblin, and like looks around again, and just like, huh?
Oh, one of these boys.
And
Oh yeah, it's the magic dude.
as this is happening, I mean, he's just like, looks frighteningly at both sides, sees he's surrounded, and let's roll initiative because he is getting in on that initiative right now.
We get that Pokemon battle swipe.
Da, 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 da. Is that what we're calling it? The Pokemon battle swipe? I like that.
I mean,
not wait until next level and I get advantage on initiative again, because how I miss it.
how I miss it.
I just want better,
cool.
I just want better decks. I'm rolling -1 initiative every time.
Well,
yeah.
Kelly, I will allow you to go first. Please make your choice.
Thank you. I'm gonna slide up into the. How big is the doorway here?
3 feet wide, 5 feet tall.
So, okay, so it's just one space.
Yes. You're gonna have to duck if you try to get through it.
That's it's 5 feet tall, you said, but I could still like stab into it, right? Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
or grab him and pull him out.
Also a possibility.
Yeah, but to grab him would use both of my attacks.
Grappling takes a action. It takes one of your attacks as part of an attack action.
Oh, really? Okay, so first things first, Gygax is going to roll up and get in there. Kick a couple of times, because Gygax is on my turn, yeah?
Yes.
So,
all true.
So he will do that. He will behoove him. It will behoove him to...
Boo.
That's probably no good.
No.
All right, and then he will take a step back.
This creature hasn't acted yet, so no reaction.
Yeah, that's why I did it. And then Kelly's going to come on up and get a little freaky with him.
Very well.
Stabbing him, I mean. Oh.
Yeah. That's 24.
24 damage.
Yeah, that's not so good for him. Let me take a moment here. What do I got? Nope.
I mean, so let me just ask you this real quick. It's clear that he's engaging us in combat. Yeah?
I mean, it might not be combat, but he's just like frightened to see all of you, and he pulls out a stick in front of him, right? And that's a pretty good indicator that this dude is not messing around.
Well, it could also just be, scared the shit out of him. I mean, if I opened a door and there was just a bunch of random fucks with weapons out, I would probably be like, I'd point my stick at him too, just out of reflex.
Your attacks deal no damage to him.
No damage.
You hit him physically with a flaming sword, and you can see that a symbol appears behind him and begins sucking the fire out of your sword and creates a flaming glyph behind him. He still acts like it hurts a whole lot, and he looks down as if, oh god, I've been hit, but you don't appear to physically injure him at all.
Can I make an Arcana check on this?
Absolutely.
Because I think that might be some sort of auto-use spell or something.
I'll give
like
you...
that.
I got proficiency. I'll give you advantage.
Right.
You would have to be able to see it, Taka, which you can't, and you're nowhere near this. At an 8, this is some form of magic. You're sure that this is magical.
Cool. I mean, Dave's sure it's magical as well, so I'll do my second attack then. Oh, the first one hit, right? So
Correct. Physically hit him.
Would a smite be counted as the same attack action, or like how would that work?
What kind of smite are we talking about? A smite spell or the smite?
I mean, they're all spells, right? But the action
No,
that would use
there's
a
two
spell
different
slot
types
or
of
whatever.
smiting. There's paladins can cast spells with the smite tag, or you can expend spell levels to deal smite damage.
One has to follow up a weapon attack.
Yes,
all of them follow.
Yes,
weapon
but
attack.
most of the smite spells are bonus actions you have to cast before you attack. The sacrifice spell levels to get bonus damage, you do that after you hit.
Okay, so if I did it after I hit, would it be sucked away? Would it be a count of the same action sort of thing, or?
To start with, I think that if you cast the paladin stuff on a critical hit, you get double the dice on that paladin action.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you invest now with spell levels, you could deal twice as much damage. What a value! A premium.
And you say 1 month a year, right?
Wholesale.
It's mine.
Wow,
Not just one,
timeshare.
not just 2, but 3 sham wows.
Technically, you need to make that distinction after you know it hits, but before I put the damage in. But given the way Roll20 works, that will never happen. So if you want to say, I hit a critical hit, I'm going to throw some paladin damage on here, then you tell me what spell level you're going to throw in, and you'll throw twice as many dice.
All right, and it's just a D8, right? If I remember correctly.
No,
been a
it's
while
actually
since
much
we played.
higher. I think it's something like 3.
Yeah, it depends on the smite too.
Yeah, it
doesn't
also depends on your level and the spell level you're
okay.
throwing in.
Hang on. Divine Smite, second level. It's the extra. Okay, so. Yep. The extra damage is 2d8 for a first level,
Correct.
plus 1d8 for every spell level higher to a maximum of 5d8.
What spell level do you want to throw in here?
I'm going to do a first level. Is
Okay.
this thing undead or fiend?
No.
Okay.
So you're looking at 48 then. What a value. 48 on a first level spell.
Yeah. 14.
You do physically damage him at this point.
Cool.
Your smite rolls over him. The symbol behind him shatters as some of your divine energy, like a golden line of runes, is sucked out. At some point, the thing shatters, and those golden lines of runes like snap back and hit him in the back of the head, and he goes, ah! But again, because of the noise reduction, it's more like, oh.
All right. Following the snap back to reality,
Oops.
I'm going to give him a reason to say oops. But, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean that'll hit him again.
Yeah, I don't think I'll use.
If you've broken through
fuck
the little
it.
barrier, but
I'll do another 2d8 level 1 smite here for 9. So
he slams his staff down in front of you. Purple smoke begins whooshing around him, and he disappears.
is it his turn now?
Yes, he's directly after you.
He disappears.
Yep.
What was that?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Man, I'm just sucking off.
That was some magic right there. I mean, that was some. For the rest of you, you barely even had time to turn.
Under my breath, under my breath, so it's super, super low. Super, super low because of where we're at. I say, mind freak.
Aardvark appears out of nowhere with doves coming out of his sleeves. You called?
I cast Disintegrate. I don't care if I don't know it.
So the rest of you have been turning as Kelly drew a flaming sword and attacked somebody in a room. And by the time that you begin to set yourselves in motion, Kelly is already preparing to sheathe that sword.
Well, do we move forward then?
What do we see in this room now that it's open?
Yeah, is there anything?
Fantastic. Great question. In the room, there is a fairly fine stone frame of a bed, and then kind of like someone threw down 4 bedrolls on top of it, and then another mattress on top of those bedrolls. There's some pretty nice sheet work in here. I mean, definitely this is not Goblin Weave sheetwork. They clearly stole these from somebody, but it's, you know, we're talking like 300 or 400 thread count sheets, and in this day and age, that's pretty nice thread count level. There's a book, clearly some form of spell book that has been left up against a, it's like I don't know what they're called at libraries, but they're like a 45-degree angle desk that you can put a book against and it holds it in place for you.
Yeah.
It's like an Arcanium that is open. There are, in each of the 4 corners of this room, very dim magical lanterns. They just emit a low blue light. Other than that, the room is mostly empty, but once more, there's no dust anywhere here.
This low blue light, it's a dim light, you said, yeah?
Yes.
This lantern, does it appear to be powered by anything?
When you reach up and pull it off and you open it up, there's just like a single gem from which the light is emanating out of.
Interesting. Is the gem hot to touch or cold or?
No, it feels room temperature.
And how bulky is the lantern that it's in?
I would say, you know,
could
it's
I
like,
put it on my belt, for example?
yeah, oh yeah, certainly. But you're going to shed light in every direction.
That's fine, but it's a dim light, right?
Well, it's a dim blue light. It's going to conflict with your dim yellow light that your sword is.
It'll make a green light.
What I'm saying is, I can't see in the dark unless I walk around with my
your sword
out.
out. Yes, this will aid you in that, but it's going to be very dim.
That's fine.
Okay.
As long as it's something, so I'll put it on my inventory then.
There are now only 3 lights in that room.
Do you want to take a look at this book, Doctor?
Sure. I'll knock on the door I'm at before I leave, though.
Are you ding dong ditching that door?
Yeah.
About the time you make it to the other door, the door opens and someone pops their head out. They appear to be a regular goblin, not a hobgoblin. I'm having a lot of trouble here. Here we go. They step out into the hallway and say, "Wait! Before you go in there, we should speak." And he says this in common. So we're talking like a 3.5 foot Yoda-looking goblinoid motherfucker draped in robes, got a little staff with it's got like 2 hands at the top decoration coming around a black gem that's clearly magical and is emitting like a dark light. We're talking, this dude, he definitely smokes, 100%. He probably grows too. He says, "Wait."
Does he look damaged if I turn back? Like, is this the same guy that was just attacked?
No. So the guy that you just, well, you never actually saw him, but he was a hobgoblin. This guy is much
like the
smaller.
same guy that we fought before. Yeah.
He
Speak
holds.
quickly,
He's
goblin.
still got his staff, but he holds his hand up and says, "Put your weapons away. Come into my room and let us speak quietly." Have you dealt with the one that is in that room already? Is he dead?
He's escaped me, but
Then we must
I believe
speak
he would
in
be
great
injured.
haste. He will return shortly.
Okay, I will follow this man. I have no reason not to trust
I'll
him.
follow Kelly then.
Yeah.
The room looks similar to the one that you just left. And as soon as everyone is inside, they shut the door. However, there are some key differences. There's what are clearly goblins' lady clothes in here. And it becomes clear now that you're closer that this is not a goblin male, it's a goblin female. She gestures to the bed, which is clearly much too large for a goblin, and says, "Sit, sit," and heads over to the desk that I'm going to call an Arcanium. There is a bookshelf on the northern wall from which, I mean, given the great 25-foot length of the wall, 10-foot high, there are a lot of books in here. Covering a variety of topics, but mostly magical. She says, "My name is Woe's Ease. I am the apprentice of the one who runs this place. Are you the great warriors who have been slaughtering your way through the people that live here?"
That would be us.
I don't know if I'd call them people, but
Yes, very funny. Good jest. My master, Heg the Gregorian, is a vile and evil man. I am sure you have seen his dark ways throughout this
Wait, what was
fortress.
the name of the dude that wanted to trade with us? That was standing in the fire. Was that
Prince
who he's
Khosrau.
referencing, or
Yeah.
okay? So that's not.
So when you say that
Whatever-
to the rest of the party and ask,
Whatever his
she's
name
like,
was in the human tongue.
yes, you understand. He's trading with Khosrau. He gives away some of our people as slaves to him. He is a bad and vile man. I would seek your help in liberating this place.
Does he have a box?
I have seen what you speak of in the treasury. Is that the price that you would name?
He will die if he has that box.
I would prefer to dock it. I mean, technically he's going to die if he doesn't have the box, but it just gives us more incentive if he does have the box.
She says, "Then are we in agreement? You will help me eliminate Haig, and I will bequeath you the box."
Why the fuck?
Well,
I mean, we were going to do that anyway.
So she holds out a
It-
tiny little baby Yoda hand.
turns on disturbed in the spaceship, only to get turned off.
That's some sick memeing right
Amanda.
there.
Turns on the Han Solo song from the Star Wars dancing game.
I'm Han Solo? No.
Yeah.
Please, no.
No, I mean, Igor said we'll go kill him. I have spoken, and then we fuck off.
I mean, she's holding her tiny little
Why-
hand out.
Why is it that you are turning on your master?
That is an excellent question, and I'm glad that you asked. As I've previously ascertained, he is a bad and evil man. And I believe that our people could be so much more without him. With a strong and just leader with great vision in place, we could become more than what we are.
Is this leader you?
Yes.
So essentially, we're helping you rise through the ranks and become the leader of your people.
We are reaching a mutual accord where both of our parties can achieve our goals and dreams.
We were going to kill him and get the box. without you.
Agron is going to stretch, you know, with his hammer behind his back. Wouldn't be the first time I participated in a coup.
We've been tasked with getting the box and killing whoever holds it anyway. What do we stand to gain from this?
Well, now she's looking a little nervous. She holds her ground and kind of takes one of the loose wrappings of her robes and like dabs her forehead and says, "Yes, what do you gain to work with me? Well, allow me to explain the great rewards that could come with working with me.
I feel a
I
PowerPoint presentation coming on.
I am not killing you right now. I could also provide information about this place. Me not killing you is good. I am very powerful," she says as she steps closer to the door.
I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder in a nice way, not in a threatening way or anything, Arthur.
Okay.
And I'd be like, "Relax. We're not going to harm you. What we're trying to say is, if you could make it so that we wouldn't have to kill more of your kin, that would be very useful."
I could
Also,
tell you of some of those that you might face. Information that you could use to make your battles easier. Or the secret passageway into the treasury so that you might find your object of desire sooner.
that's
Why not
That would
both?
be useful.
Why not both? She nods like, yeah, why not both?
Also, was that what do they call it? The Goblin Devourer? Was that your master's?
The Hobgoblin Devastators here. Do you speak of the one that was in the other room?
The large floating tentacle creature. Do you know that one?
Ah, you speak of the Balhanoth.
The what?
The legendary beast, the Balhanoth. In the fake treasury, yes? Beyond the workshops?
Yeah.
Yes. We don't know why it appeared here, but it has done so, they say, in our records many generations ago, and has beset our people with visions and dreams, attempting to lure them within its grasp. And once you are close enough, it can rewrite reality to bring you closer to it. Emerge from shadows to consume its prey.
Well, it's loose.
That is terrible news. That is it's like, let me be honest here. Like, the news that it is on the move is devastating to her. She's just like,
We nearly
for
killed it.
20 generations, my people have watched over this monster, and my family line has attempted to learn the secrets of magic to tame it, or at the very least curb or sate its desires. But now, for it to go loose on my watch, damn you, Haig! Damn you and your cursed domination of all!
I don't know. Maybe put up a sign or something next time.
We nearly killed it. It ran from us.
Have you not seen the way that it warps reality? We put a seal upon the door. You must have seen it broken if you were to enter into its chambers.
What we learned about the item that we're after, it was to be alongside of such a monstrosity.
Indeed, the creature can sense the desires of those around it and guides it into its waiting maw.
I look at Agram like, there we go, bingo. Well, would it go after your kin for any reason?
Yes, it would go after any sentient creature to consume it, its hopes and dreams, desires, and, physical form.
Well, then I guess we have a legendary creature to kill. I suppose it'd be in the lower levels if it was anywhere. It ran last time we fought it.
Traps more like alarms were set along the lower levels to allow my people to know of your coming. If those have not been set off, then it must have run in the only other direction it could, back through the portal from whence it came.
Well, if it did, that
Oh.
portal is closed now.
Oh, well, that's great.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The one in the other room north of here, that one, will curse you for all eternity for what you have done to that portal. But for me, that is not the style of magic that I subscribe to.
I'm a little late for that one.
I do not investigate such horrors.
It's on the rest of the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the rest of this floor. Of course, you have already entered the room of Zebs. Next to me is the champion, Steesdouble. He is thoroughly devoted to Hag.
Will he attempt to fight us if
Yes,
we enter
he
the
will.
treasury?
He is quite strong. Even my magic might not be enough to subdue him.
I turn to the group and I'm just like, it might be best to deal with this threat before we move on.
Perhaps, rather than knocking on his door, you should blast it down and attempt to take him in his sleep.
We could pick the lock too.
Yes, of course. The room past his is Crix the Strong. He is a war priest of Guzan Guz, an orcish emissary from the Northern Lands, who has come to investigate and see if we are worthy of allying with them. He has come quite far, crossing the Demon Lord's territory.
Would he be open to conversation?
I believe so. In fact, if you were to go with me, I could negotiate on behalf of the new government here. With you standing behind me, I am sure I would seem greatly powerful.
I thought you were already greatly powerful.
The four of you standing behind me like guards or great warriors, I would be raised in his eyes to a new level of power.
Well,
It is difficult to gain his ear.
I would have conversations with him about other things other than your people and your plights.
Of course, all I would ask is that you allow me to introduce you as associates of my reign.
Temporary allies, I think, would be the best term for us.
That could be confusing. Perhaps associates. Friends?
Associates.
Associates.
It would be best if you do not lie about our position here.
Are we not associating right now?
Well, you have a task for us. We will see it done.
The room beyond that is
That is
empty. We have stacked all of the baubles and trinkets within it. We goblins and hobgoblins are not the sort to require such ostentatious furniture.
Okay. What would you recommend doing first? Talking to your companion, the orc, or
Steesdapple is a champion of Hague. Removing him would be a great first step towards securing my reign.
very well. Who here was the? Oh no, we don't have a lockpicker anymore. Spoody changed his thing.
Sorry.
Yeah. Does anyone have any skills regarding that?
I mean, a bear could knock down a door.
I mean,
You're really emphasizing this bear thing, huh? So she says, as much as I would like to meet with you and Crix, I must go into the deep lands of my people and prepare to undo any damage that fool Zezb has done. So let us part here, and I will meet you again at the lower levels when you are ready.
You won't talk with us? Introduce us to this orc friend of yours?
Then let us go now. And quickly.
Okay.
So she pushes past all of you to make her way to the Arcanium desk and like grab the book, slam it shut, hang it from the belt. I mean, it's almost like half the size she is. And then she shuffle steps down to the fourth door. She knocks on it and says a phrase in Orcish, and about 20 seconds later, the door opens, and a very surprised-looking orc says, "Hello, I am Crix the Strong."
I curtsy and say, "It is a pleasure to meet you, Crix. May we have a moment of your time?"
Sorry, I know this is a goblin icon, but that's just because I don't have an Orcish emissary icon available. So, your new friend Woes Ease introduces all of you briefly. She doesn't know any of your names. So she just says, as I mentioned, this is my new plan to take over the government, and these are my allies in doing so, Crix is Strong. Please speak with them. I must attend to other business. So Crix is just like, this is highly unusual, but please come in. You can see that in these rooms, Crix is Strong has numerous desks, tables, chairs. All of them have minor gems and baubles, like the leftover of carving a ruby or a sapphire. Has like the dust or a small tiny particulate of that has been set into all of this fine wooden or stone work here. He's got papers spread out all over the place. It looks like he's tracking goblin movements on the different levels of this place, gathering charted statistical information about them. He begins closing folders everywhere and says, "Friends, I am Crix the Strong, emissary of the Northern Clans. Have you heard my name sung before?"
Unfortunately, no, but
Might I have
your
heard your
clan-
name spoken before in words of song?
Really?
I'm asking, have I? Would I have?
Oh, potentially. It depends how many lives you've lived.
He looks down. One? This one?
Then, unfortunately, no. You might not have heard of us.
So he says, "Would you like wine?"
Very much so.
Yes.
So he grabs a pitcher and says, "Wait here." You hear him plod down the corridor and then open the door back up. He pulls out a silver dagger and kisses it and whispers something to it. Then he dips the dagger in the water, and when he pours it out, it is red wine.
Hell yeah. Oh, man. Goose and
Goose and
Ghost.
Ghost, Jesus.
Mm.
So,
In my
do I know everything that my old previous Kelly knew about Goose and Ghost?
kind of, the memories are still there, but they don't have the same emotional impact to you. You no longer believe that Goose and Ghost is the one true faith, right? Like,
yeah. Okay.
So he says, "If you would but wait a moment, can we perhaps say a prayer? If not to Guzenguz, then to at least the gods themselves, for a fortuitous meeting."
Of course.
So he bows
Allow me
his
to
head.
join you in that prayer.
He bows his head silently over the cup for about 10 seconds, and then drinks some of it and says, "An excellent vintage. Guzenguz has sent me wonderful wine this time."
So, I hear that you are from the tribe beyond the Demon Lands. Is that true?
Yes.
We are seeking eventual passageway through to your people on the other side.
Hmm.
Would you happen to know of a safe route that we might be able to take?
The western road through the halfling lands is how I got down here. It took some extra coin to get it done, but I traveled in covered carriage so that none might see my face. Orcs are not well thought of in the human lands for some reason.
Oh, I know all too well.
Anyone's not a human is not well thought of in the human lands.
True enough, friends, true enough. You will not find such discrimination in the lands of the clans of the Flow. Among the ice of the north, we do not warm our hearts with hatred, but with friendship.
We have met 4 of your companions. I'm not sure if they were from the same tribe, but they were allies to the demons to a degree, and they were searching a ruin. Do these sound like a familiar?
There are dozens of clans. Some have chosen to ally themselves with the demon lord, Stalvin Black, curse his name, and others do not. He is...
When he says Stalvin Black, curse his name, you see Daka like raise his glass.
He raises his glass back. It says, Stalvin Black has placed a heretic among us to speak with us. Reclaimer Yalwyn. You may know that in many lands, he places a high-ranking functionary in order to convert people to his cause. Here, he places a general and tries to turn people using the power of military strength. But in my lands, he has placed a minister in order to convert my people. It is disgusting. If I thought that I could defeat her, I would, but my faith in Guzengaz is not strong enough yet. She is unusually blessed with the power of death.
Fire help then.
But we speak of internal manners of a faraway land. If you would travel to the clans of the Flow, there are no special words you will require from me. Whether you travel by elven boat or halfling road or by gnomish sailing vessel, you will be welcome there, no matter which clan you land at.
And if we tried to remove this priest?
As much as my people value conversation and philosophical thought, we are a people of Guzengaz. Were you to remove a problem in proper combat, none would speak unkindly of it.
Well, all right then.
I would note that, however, her power is so great that even our greatest champions now serve at her side as husks. Each one she slays makes her more powerful.
Sounds like someone Black would have on his team.
He is an unusual creature. He speaks of freedom and understanding, and yet he allies himself with such a horrifying cause as to strike down the gods themselves. He pulls out his dagger of Guzengaz and kisses it and says, "May he one day simply not wake up."
If I have my way.
That's the plan.
I have a question for you, though.
Yes?
Maybe return to matters at hand here.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't know that we had other matters at hand.
This box, we have been promised it in exchange for helping.
I'm sorry, I don't know what box we're talking about.
It is a box in the treasury. We've come here seeking it.
Very well. Why would you need to speak with me about this? It sounds as if this is a internal matter of the Grigorian.
We were told that you were here to assess evaluate these people.
That is true. These goblins, my people feel some measure of kinship to them. But for generations, hundreds of years, they have locked themselves into this underworld, killing each other, raiding human lands when they can. I do not believe that they are intelligent enough to understand that the world is more than just the nearby village. When I attempted to explain how many steps it took to arrive here, they could not count the number that high. They kill themselves, they kill each other, they raid the humans, and they think that if they can defeat that village, they will have conquered all known existence. They are warlike, and so that has drawn my attention, but they are also stupid, which is revolting.
Do you think that problem trickles down from leadership?
This one, Woe's Ease, has tried to turn me to her side with pretty words, but she is not powerful enough to overthrow her master. So I continue to deal with Haig. But yes, Haig is as violent as he is stupid. I fear that my time here is almost done. They will continue to war with each other and commit great acts of violence, which Gusengas approves of course. But their violence is undirected. It is without purpose. And it perhaps calls too much to death for my taste. They have also summoned something from another realm.
The prince?
The prince. I will not meet with him myself, for it is a creature of slavery and chains. It is disgusting.
We have run into this creature in our explorations of this area. Not something that we will be following up with, I can attest to that. We would like to begin plans to complete this coup. Would you have any problems with us fighting the creature in the next room?
None.
And perchance, would you be interested in joining us in our attempts to
I would not.
overthrow the
If
current
there
power?
was to be a coup here, it would be wiser for me to exit this facility as quickly as possible and return home. It is clear that these people do not have enough of a functioning society to do any sort of trade with, even at a verbal and oral level. Their stories will find no place among the clans.
Interesting. I'm going to show him the diagram of the crystal that I have.
So he looks over it and he says, "Curious. I've seen its like before. Twice."
Is there any in your homelands?
There are. There is such a crystal.
Where did you see the second one?
The second one I saw was at the Castle of Stalvin Black.
Aye, we've heard of this one before.
It was in the antechambers before he ejected me.
Well, if we meet again, I have plenty of stories that we can use to entertain and teach your people with. However, I do believe we should take an advantage as it sees fit right now. The man in the room above is supposedly sleeping, so it would behoove us to make best on this advantage.
So he reaches out and grabs your forearm and says, "Wait. Why do you seek these crystals?"
You will need an open mind for the following story. Is that something that you can be capable of?
Ooh. I mean, he says yes, but it's clear that he doesn't understand the context that you're about to ask.
Me and my companions here are what you call gifted. We have within us a great task, and our lineage is something that allows us to comprehend reality in an interesting manner. When we die, and we have died many a time before, we go back to a single time and place and reattempt to solve the problems that we had before. These crystals are points of axis among the realities that we have experienced. Touching and interacting with such crystals
He holds
leads
a
us
hand up.
to.
You have touched these crystals,
We have.
and you have survived the experience.
Most definitely.
Well, as we mentioned, we cannot but survive.
He hands you his holy symbol of Guzangas.
Who?
Okay.
Kelly.
I take it.
He stands up and begins gathering up his papers and says, "You do what you must here. I will return to my people. I have all the more reason now that I have heard your tale to do so. But if I do not return, or if you need to identify yourself, simply present this, and they will know that you are under the protection of Crix the Strong. The crystal of which you speak is at the center point of a chapel of my people. All of the gods are represented there, with the exception of the Lady of Death. Some have tried to conquer the crystal before, but none have ever returned from touching it. If you have, our clerics and high priests will wish to hear of your experience as soon as possible. I must go and announce your coming."
Very well. This information will be very useful to us. There's a lot that we don't understand about our interactions with what we've touched before.
I do not know what we can tell you about the crystal, but I am very curious about what you can tell us about the crystal. It is connected to the gods in ways that we do not understand.
Do you clerics have, like, histories, written articles about the crystal?
I apologize. You must not know much about the clans. We do not write this. He gestures to what's on the table. This is the extent to our non-verbal knowledge. We pass history through song and word.
Then we would appreciate when we get there to hear some of these songs. Maybe they'll shed some light on our situation that will shed some light on your situation.
I will speak with my high priest, and we will see what we will see. I can only hope that you come by our humble lands. Yes?
One final thing. My companion here unfortunately has a weakness on him.
I'm quite cursed.
Would you be capable enough of removing said curse through the power of Guzangas?
So he reaches into a pouch and pulls out one of several backup holy symbols, and then touches Finley's head, which requires some upward motion because Finley's taller than him. Closes his eyes and says, "I have a scroll that would remove this, but the magic is rare and lost to many of us. The cost is great."
Name it.
Your assurance that you will come to the Clans of the Flow. It is clear that you do not carry great bags of gold upon you, nor could I carry them myself. But the knowledge that you have would be of value.
Consider us appearing there very soon.
I think we can do that.
Before you finish speaking, Finley Longbottom, he touches your forehead while you're talking, and you're blown away by the power of Guzengos. You see depictions of you riding on a great elk, throwing a spear through its horns at somebody. You using like a whole fucking 20-foot long log as a lance to like ram into someone, and then when you come out of this vision, your hit point maximum is back to normal, and your hit points are full.
Yay!
Hell yeah.
Just imagine that like the elk horns are like an iron sight.
After he throws the spear, you hear a pinging of the clip needing reloading.
Yeah.
like a Lee Enfield.
Ping.
A grand.
Oh god, man, it's one of my favorite noises on this planet.
So he steps out into the hallway, having gathered up his papers, and he says, Steez Double. I cannot stop you from whatever you are about to do, but I would simply ask that I be allowed to pass with no problem.
He's not talking to us anymore. He's talking to someone else.
No, he's talking to the person in the next room over, who's out in the hallway waiting for you. They exchange something in Goblin, and the ambassador, Crix the Strong, leaves. At that, you now know, like Western style, boo, wow, wow, wow. There's somebody out waiting in the hallway for you. However, just like High Noon, it's always time for the break somewhere in the world, and that time for the break is now. We'll be back in 8 minutes for the second half of this show, where we face down with Steez Double, champion of the Necromancer. Wow, wow, wow.